Okay, so I see that it's live, Josh. We totally can't hear you in Discord, just FYI.
I didn't have my mic on. I was talking just now. All right.
Yes. All
Welcome,
right.
everybody. All right. So I have my mic on now, and we are
All
joined
right.
today, episode 4 of the Crime Alley Cast.
Uh,
And we have Mr. Costley here, and we got that mystery man, DaBoy, finally joining the group.
That mystery man.
That mystery man. Classic Josh move.
Classic
Whew.
Josh move. Leaving his mic muted.
I,
What
you
what
know
kind
what?
of production
I'm
quality
I
not
don't
keeping
know.
that in the
on?
podcast, just FYI. Like,
Okay.
I'm not even editing that out. Like, it's just gonna stay in.
Yeah, because I was talking for a little bit. I turned my mic off right before, even though I wasn't talking. I thought I might as well turn the mic off just to be safe, and then there you go. Forgot to turn it back on. Mm-mm.
Classic Josh.
So what is up, fellas? We got a lot of stuff to talk about, but what's going on?
It's been a pretty busy week for me.
Mhm.
Most people have probably noticed I haven't streamed. But yeah, it's been real busy for me. Between works why I haven't been streaming before anybody thinks, hey, new Destiny expansion came out, Costly hasn't been streaming, that's why. Or if everybody thinks that I fell into the void that is Raid Shadow Legends. Neither of those things are why I haven't been streaming, but I have been playing both of those, and I'll be talking about it later.
I've heard about those. I've heard about those
Unfortunate.
games. Yeah, going to the dark side. And DaBoy, how about you? What's been up with you, bud?
Literally nothing has been up with me. I have just been working my tail off for the last 3 weeks, so it's been pretty crazy.
That's good though. That's always good.
Something's got to pay for the Rebirth 5 Black Hand, right?
Yeah, someone's got to pay. Are you gonna do it? We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
But what are we doing today? We have a lot to talk about. I think a lot has happened since the last cast. With the anniversary event has come. So the anniversary event has come. But before I jump into that, DaBoy, tell us, let everyone get to know who is DaBoy. Like who is this guy? This no camera guy.
This no camera guy. He's kind of a one in a million kind of guy, you know.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. That sounds real bad. I'm just a regular guy. I like playing video games. I like reading the DC comics. And of course, everybody knows I got a special place in my heart for the Lantern faction of DC Comics. But yeah, that's pretty much
Them
me.
lanterns. So wait, what got you?
Lanterns.
What got you into comics? Like how did your comic journey begin?
My comic journey began when I took the last 3 semesters of my college program in 9 months, and I got bored out of my mind in a business class, and I started reading Blackest Night.
Oh, so you jumped in
It's a good
right,
book.
yeah, right into the
book
good
to
stuff.
start with.
Yeah, I just that was like, I mean, I had read comics before, but I was literally bored, and I did the Forbidden, torrent the entire series, like all the series, like all the tie-ins. So it was like 200 and something volumes.
Mm-hmm.
Needless to say, I passed the class, but not by a lot, because I could have told you a lot about Blackest Night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's kind of how I got started.
Started with Blackest Night. Did you read all of Jeff John's run leading up to it, or did you just start with Blackest Night and do everything around it?
So that I just jumped into that, and then I've read that since then, because now it makes way more sense now. But
I was gonna say, because it's all one really big piece that's really good, but it's Blackest Night. It's kind of like, hey, what is it talking about right here? I don't understand what this is.
Yeah, I read the Blackest Night and the Brightest Day and all of the tie-ins. Right. So there was I think there's 10 different Batman.
There's a lot of tie-ins.
Yeah, there's a lot of tie-ins. So it was a lot of reading. It was a lot of fun. Someday I want to go back and read all of that again.
Now you said you read comics. You had read comics before a little bit, like what?
Like here and there. Like I would pick up I used to play a tape. This is gonna be real nerd here.
All
okay,
right,
and I take real pride in this tabletop game, based off of DC and Marvel comics, called HeroClix, and it's a strategy. Yeah, it's a strategy game. And so I would, we'd go to the comic book store, we'd grab some of those growing up, and I'd grab, a Superman comic or Batman or just something random. I didn't read a whole lot.
Yeah.
before that.
Yeah, I used to work in a comic book store. We had HeroClix and stuff in there.
Yeah,
I
dude.
never really understood how to play it, but I know a lot of people came in looking for it, and so we'd sell it to them. But
Bro, tabletop simulator. Get it. We can play it. I'll teach you guys.
I have Tabletop Simulator.
Wait, is it on there?
It's on there.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
we're gonna have to do that. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, I got it. We can play it.
I'll teach you.
I have a just this is a little bit of a tangent, but have you guys ever played DC deck building game?
Yeah, I have one. I have.
Okay.
Yeah,
so,
it's a lot of fun.
So that's the reason why I have Tabletop Simulator is we absolutely love playing that game. I have the entire set, literally everything they ever put out for DC deck.
All of them?
Yes, all the sets, all the crossovers.
There's a lot of them.
And
So are we gonna play? Are we gonna have a board game night?
Oh yeah,
I'm
we're
always
gonna have
down
to do
for
that.
board
We might even
game
be able to
night.
record that, and put it up. But so the only ones I don't have, I know this is a tangent, but is I don't have the Rebirth one, and I didn't have the Metal one. I still technically do not have it in my possession,
Okay.
but my buddy bought it for me for my birthday, which was last month, and he hasn't brought it by yet. But I have the DC Metal DC deck builder.
Yeah,
so.
the deck building is a lot of fun. A
Oh,
ton
that
of
game's
fun.
so much fun.
Yeah.
I could play that thing for hours.
So, DaBoy, how did you? What got you into the game? DC Legends, or what is it called now? DC Comic Book Hero, or no? DC
It's called DC Legends Fight Superheroes.
DC Legends Fights. Yeah, I don't know.
Ever.
I think they did. I honestly feel like they named the game that just to hit keywords. Like if someone were search into Google, like that's exactly how I
Superhero
think.
game.
Yeah, superhero
Fighting game.
superhero awesome fun.
Speaking as the person who puts the tags in for the YouTube videos for this podcast, yes, that's why they named it that way.
Yeah.
So,
What got
yeah.
me into it?
Yeah.
Kind of the same. Like I had, after reading Blackest Night, Brightest Day, kind of really got into it. And then when did the game come out? 2016, right?
I think so.
when did it come out? I don't know.
I want to say that's right.
2016, I was working in the financial world, and there was a lot of slow times, and the game was coming out, and I was like, oh, I played a ton of Clash of Clans. You guys
Okay.
remember that game?
Yeah.
Me and a lot of my friends from back home in LA, we would play that, and I don't know, I was just like, oh, cool, there's a DC Comics fight, or I played a lot of DC Universe online, so anytime there's a new DC game, I'm like, oh, cool, I gotta try it out.
Yeah.
And then DCL kind of just, stole my heart. I kind of played it a little bit, played it since it came out, and then now the rest is history. Right now we
Now we're here. Now you're
Now we're
knocking on
here.
the door of World's Finest.
That's right. got one belt on my record. I'm trying to get a second one, but we'll see.
So and for those that don't know, you won the Alan Scott
Correct.
siege. Okay. Gotta represent when it's a lantern up for grabs.
Shout out to M4 for the sensei though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Always
for
got to
no
shout
pers-
him for.
No particular reason at all. I'm just wondering, Josh, have you ever got World's Finest?
I've gotten
anything?
World's Finest and nothing. I've never attempted in Wraith. Because
Costly, we might have to.
Yeah,
wait,
there's two
Costly.
World's
Hang on.
There's two World's
Costly,
Finest.
have you've gotten one? Which one have you gotten?
I've been World's Finest twice in Wraith.
Twice? And oh wait, okay, Wraith is nothing
Yeah.
to sneeze at. I
So-
don't want to nothing to sneeze at. How about Siege though?
No.
Okay,
I've
alright.
placed top 10 multiple times, but I have never. Man, it's too much work to get World's Finest in Siege. Too much stress.
Bro, it's stressful.
It is stressful,
Okay? It's stressful.
and not to
So-
knock World's Finest and Wraith, but I just feel like in Wraith you just have to play a lot.
Okay.
Like you just play a lot, and then if you
It's impossible if for 3 to 6ers.
Right,
To get World
right.
It's
Yeah,
impossible.
so I got my first World's Finest was Raven before she was reworked. I got her just because literally I'm a completionist. I was like, I need frags, so I went for World's Finest, and that was actually before I became an owl.
okay,
And at that time, I had Gear 11s. I had mostly all Gear 11. Like I had enough to have like the lower end trophy gains. And then the second World's Finest was I walked into the second World's Finest. We'll just put it that way. Even though it was after I was an owl. It wasn't that long ago. It was when I had the 3 to 6, but it was for Roz before he was reworked, and Tootie Tron basically let me have it. So because it got me to L5. So
Okay.
those were my 2 world's finest runs.
Yeah, I can't imagine the amount of matches I would need to play in Wraith. Because, yeah, we get the 3 to 6. I mean, every now and then I'll get a 20 if I run into, like, you, DaBoy, or something. But it would be such a ungodly amount of matches. And then I'd be going up against some of the other guys who are getting 20s all the time. Because you have those G10.5 players out there, or even the G10, G9, where they have that cheese team. You know, it's the Lex, Donna, World's Great Detective, and Red Robin or something, and they can beat all the big teams. But it's just, and they get 20 points every time. It's just, it would, and the amount of gems I would need to spend. I don't like spending my gems, so.
Oh yeah, no.
Oh, we all know that, Josh.
Yeah, I don't like spending those gems.
How many gems are you at currently?
I'm bleeding gems. I think I'm in a danger zone of like 210,000. So now, you know what? It's the weirdest thing. Now that I'm getting close to 200,000,
Did you
like,
just say danger zone of 210,000?
danger zone, like, yeah, because now that I'm getting, now that I'm getting low, closer to 200,000, I'm freaking out. Now it's like the new mark. 200,000 is the new mark, where 100,000 used to be the new mark, and now I'm like nervous about dipping any lower. So,
DaBoy, how many do you have?
So, Josh, don't have a heart attack, okay?
Okay.
So last week, after I purchased all of my lovely Olay skincare product,
Skin so smooth.
skin so smooth, smooth skin by DaBoy. Anyways, it's my new line in case anybody was wondering. I had like 230,000 gems. Okay, it was awesome. It was great. I am down to Josh. Don't have a heart attack.
Oh
okay?
my God, I'm already waiting for this number.
156,000.
What? How do you spend that many gems?
Okay, so
To be honest, I have no idea where they went.
I don't get it.
this will give Josh a heart attack because it
Oh,
almost did
no.
last episode when I said how much I have. I do have more than I did last episode.
Okay.
I said that much. I am currently at 24,000 gems.
Ooh.
See, Josh.
I can't.
You see, what happens, Costly, is Josh would like to know that anytime an offer comes up, he could buy it if he wants to, but he never wants to.
Yeah. I don't. Talking about offer walls. Talking about offers and offer walls. The 4 times offer wall that happened over the last and the anniversary. It was the anniversary event, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Yeah. That was amazing. The 4 times offer wall. So I mean, I feel bad talking about it being a Android US user, but I think Costa, your iPhone too? Yeah, you're both iPhones.
Yes.
Yeah, we're both iPhones,
Yeah.
so we don't get the.
You don't get the
free
game
gems.
offers, right? Yeah, you don't get the free game,
And
the gems there.
I didn't want to smooth out my skin.
You
so
didn't
I
go for the
had money
skin.
for it. So yeah.
I tried so hard to convince my wife. I was like, can you use this? Like, I even did reviews on like what retinol is, and like I was like, is this good for you? And
Oh no, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I went up to my parents' house and was like, "Hey, mom, do you use Olay?" And she was like, "No, why?" And I was like, I looked over to my cousin she grew up with me, so she's kind of like my sister. I looked over at her. I was like, "Hey, do you use Olay?" She's like, "No." I was like, "You guys suck."
Yeah.
You guys are so nice trying to find people to give it to and do that. We could be I'm not going to name any names, but there is a certain group of people who have bought the Olay and they have a 30-day return window, and they took their gems and running and are returning the Olay products.
I was wondering about that. I just didn't know. Like that night when I was thinking about buying, I was like, can I return this or like?
Yeah, they have a 30-day return window.
Yeah.
So
I didn't have an option. Not that I would have done it. I'm not like immoral of a person. I'm just saying.
If I knew returning was an option, I probably would have. I don't know. I think
for
I
anybody
would've.
that didn't pick up my humor, yes, I would have returned it. So,
I would have. I was like thinking. I asked my wife, like, would your mom like this? I think my mom would. I don't know. Should we buy these as gifts or? It was. I tried. I gave them all my best moves, but we decided that I already had 100 and like a little over 100,000 gems at the time, so I was like, I don't need any more gems. So decided to save the money, but there was a lot of offers on there, not even just for buying products. Like for me, I again, like I'm sitting around like 210,000. 90,000 of those gems came from this. It's called like Billionaires Casino. It's a casino game. Slot machines. They also have like blackjack and poker in it, but it's slot machines. And I must have played it. I played it the first night, and I played it for maybe 30 minutes. And I went from, you have to get to level 200. And I went from level like 0 to like 15 in like 10 minutes. I'm like, okay, you just max bet spin, and then you win, and you should be fine. And then I played it again like a couple days later, and I played it for maybe 2 hours and went from level 14 to level 150. And it was just, and I did nothing. I just kept pressing spin, and it was literally, I was doing stuff on the computer, and I just had it spinning next to me on the side of me, and that knocked out like 50,000 gems. And then the final push from 150 to 200 unlocked the other 60,000 gems or whatever it was to get me 90,000. And it was so simple. But you iPhoners, you don't get that stuff.
Nope. We
Nope, not at all.
We have to buy
I have to buy
very
stuff.
expensive things,
Yeah.
and get in proportionate amount of gems for it.
Yeah.
So
It's like, hey, here, buy the Manscaped 3.0 and get, for $130 and get $10 worth of gems. It's
Right.
great.
Yeah. Sucks.
I looked at that because I was like, when it was the 4 times, I was like, this still isn't worth it at 4 times. I was like, this
I
is
think
so bad.
how many for the Olay? I think that was the big one that most
That was a
people saw.
crazy one.
Yeah.
Most people on iOS got the Olay one that
Yeah.
did the offer one.
Mm-hmm.
So to give you guys, what the Olay one was, there was a $130 Olay offer, and it gave you 87,000 gems,
Which is a ton of gems for $130.
which is about just under. It's about $350 worth of gems.
Right. And then were there other? There was 2 other Olay ones, I think.
So there was
a little bit
there was
cheaper. It's like
80.
50,000 gems.
Yeah, it was like 87, and then there was 54, and there was another one that was 52.
Right. So
I bought all 3 of them.
it was just amazing. The offers were so amazing. I know I did. I did that, and I think the one I also did was donate $20 to the ASPCA, which is a no-brainer for me. And that was like 40,000 gems. That was so many gems.
Yeah, for $19.
Yeah, $19. 40,000 gems.
$200 worth of gems.
And here's money for the puppers, for the pups and the kids out there, which I'm fine.
Yeah, see, I didn't see that one.
That
I
one
didn't really
you had
look
to,
that hard.
you had to scroll. Come on, Costly, what are you doing?
How did
man?
you miss
missed
that
out.
one?
That was
Yeah,
the easiest one.
That was easy.
I wasn't looking like crazy, mainly because my bank account wasn't going to allow me to do very much. And after I saw the Olay offer, I was like, that's like, I would like have $20 for lunch for the next week.
Yeah.
And I bought the offer. So I was like,
Oh yeah, no.
I'm not going to go down the rest of the list because all of them are going to be like way too expensive.
Yeah. I figured, you know what? Maybe they'll do something like this again later. I don't know. I held back on the buying of the-
maybe they'll do another event for December instead of raid.
Yeah, maybe they
right?
will.
That would be really cool.
That would be cool.
Like a Christmas or a New Year's event, right?
Would
That'd be-
you
yeah.
now talking about the anniversary event? We all loved it. Would you like to see it come back in another form, or keep it a once a year thing, or?
So I would love to see that come back in another form, definitely.
Yes.
Like whenever there's events, that should be accompanying it. So that one was great. Like the theming thing was all cool.
Mm-hmm.
There should be like theming around that. So it's like you could do a smaller version of that event because obviously that's a really good one for like the anniversary, right? Because it was like, oh, find all like the heroes and like you got a bunch of rebirth crystals and stuff like that. Now, like for Christmas, they could do a shorter version of it, even if they didn't want to give away so much money worth of stuff,
Right?
And do it like themed around like ice-based heroes and Christmas heroes. You know what I mean? And like you can even do like just there's so much
Dude,
potential.
If they put a tune limit on that event would have been hard.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Or you know what they could have done, and I think it would be such a small change, is let those villains use their powers. Like Clayface should taunt. If you kill,
that would make it
not
impossible.
if you don't kill Black Mask, then you get the debuffs. Like if those villains would have been normal AI villains.
L5, yeah. And
Yeah.
also if they've been L5 with the right things supplied.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
I thought it was hilarious when I was like, oh well, I'm done at this run here, because Supergirl, because I did a kind of a cheesy comp. So actually, real quick, let me get into that. for anybody that wasn't there with when I did the stream, it is archived. You can go back and watch it. I decided to make it challenging for myself. Not that it wasn't already challenging enough. I only got midway through it, and then I had to switch to a different team. But the challenge I was doing was I could only use Batman characters, and then Doombox from WRL had got me a list of villains that were like technical Batman villains.
Mm-hmm.
So I was able to search, on the wiki for that on that list. Anybody who popped up in there, I was allowed to use. So that's how I got away with using characters like Ultraman and Cersei, because like Cersei and Black Hand were on a team together at one point in the comics. So I used Batman characters, but the catch was if they died, I couldn't use them anymore, and I could only use each character to a max of 2. Because like even most people that had seen my roster, they're like, "Oh, you can only use Batman characters. So what are you going to use your RB5 Cassandra Cain, your RB4 Red Hood?" You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So that made it really challenging. And there was some nodes that like literally nodes that I watched people breeze through took me like 30 minutes. Just because having to like figure out characters that would go up against it. And then I just found it hilarious when I was running kind of a cheesy Black Hand Cersei comp.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, oh no, Supergirl's on this wave. She's just going to wipe out my entire team. And then like she did her AoE and like there was no heal immunity. And I was like, okay. Never mind.
Things like that I think would have made it. But I was not trying to make this any harder than it was at all. I brought in my team. I talked about this before, but I brought in Lex. I call it my power team. Lex, Hippo, Larf, MVP, and then Artemis. And that was a team. They all benefit from special damage. And I just ran through. But I did not try to make it any harder or have more fun with it. Because it felt pretty hard. And what do you guys think about the difficulty? Like,
well, Josh likes it hard anyways. So.
The difficulty was great, but they could have upped it a little bit.
I wouldn't mind it being harder, but I mean, do you think like of all the? I can't help it.
We're going in that direction. So yeah. All right.
I don't even catch myself saying these things. But what do you like? Okay? So there are other players that play this game that don't have G11 character. Do you think they should, if they bring this back, do you think they should show mercy to these other players and make an easier mode of it? Or do you think it should just be, look, this is the difficulty level. If you want to play in this, you need to take your tunes up. No more giving them reasons to not gear up. Like, what do you think of that?
I think that, sorry, Costly, I'll let you go in a second.
Oh, no, I was just responding to Crush in chat about clipping that last little.
That's 100% clip, Crush. I think that they should make the first 2 nodes a little easier so that people can get into it and feel like they participated. Right. Because if you can't even beat I do see the frustration if like you can't even beat the first node, it's like, well, like this event doesn't even like matter for me. And it should be a community-based event because
for the anniversary.
Especially for the anniversary.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Right. I think toning down the difficulty on the first 2 would be fine, but leave the rest of it how it make the rest of it even hard, maybe even a little bit harder,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And really be like, hey, like this is something similar to raid, right? I mean, you can only go so far in raid with an ungeared roster. You can only go so far in these kind of events with an ungeared roster.
Right.
It's not like the regular monthly event where you can finish it with a gear 16.
That's
Go for it. So I really enjoyed it, and I think that they should take and make. I get what you're saying about like, oh, make like the first 2 nodes. That'd be cool, but like I would almost argue for the anniversary at least. Like I would like that. Like say if they go and expand, they do this for Christmas events, Easter events, and like do events like that. Make the first 2 nodes easier, and then the rest of the thing hard. For anniversary, it should be. I think like the team challenges are do like a normal like one that
I'm
like
down for that.
Gear 8 to 10 people can easily run through, and then the legendary difficulty, and then like take a cue from some of these other games like over like not. I'll get into more of this later, but like with raid, there's there's easy, normal, hard, and brutal.
Mm-hmm.
And then beyond, or no, sorry, it's normal, hard, brutal, and then nightmare.
Okay.
It's like, get some more difficulties in here. Make it challenging. Make me want to throw my phone across the room playing PvE. You know what I mean? Like,
make me have to think about what I'm doing.
Right.
Make it like siege level mental.
Or it's like again, like with Raid, because I've been playing that game a lot, so I'm going to be bringing up stuff about it. And like, DaBoy, you've played a little bit of Raid.
Yeah.
In the keeps and stuff in there, like, you have to have teams to deal with the way the boss works.
Yeah, exactly.
In there, like you have to build teams specifically around each thing, and it's like that would be really cool. Towards like in the anniversary event, they could do something really cool where it's like, so on like the what were the different ones? There was like at one point it was Superman villains, right? Make it to where you can only use Superman characters to take out Superman villains.
Okay.
That would be cool.
That would severely make it much more challenging. Matt, we see something. No,
I clicked. That was me clicking that I shouldn't have been clicking.
But it's like, for instance, like Sparky, who's in your guys' alliance. He's like what, gear 9.5, 10, something like that.
Maybe.
And he got all the way to like the Alan Scott shards.
I'm gonna pull up the list right now.
You can do it. There was Doombox put out a team that at like gear 9 you could beat the event.
I saw a deal on Reddit where a guy like a gear 8 beat the whole thing.
Yeah,
yeah. It was possible. Yeah. 100%.
It's just not the normal monthly event of press auto and ooga booga I won. Like,
yeah.
And also, like, if they did beat it, their matches were taking 30, 40 minutes to run one node with the teams that they needed to use to beat them. So that was...
Oh, yeah. No, it definitely took a long time. Like, and I have an alt account that I kind of played with it a little bit. And, like, I've barely been playing my alt account. But, like, I don't want people to be like, oh, yeah, the owl over here who's, like, level 80 gear 11 on all of his characters. He's thinking, like, oh, make it harder and stuff like that. Like, I understand the frustration of not being able to complete the event and everything. I just think they did something good here. We need to let them know they did something good.
Yes.
And then tell them what we want more from
now,
it. You know what I mean?
If they want to
negativity of people being like, oh, I can't complete it, they're going to think they did a bad job. You know what I mean? So it's like,
no, I think it was fantastically done. Now, if they want to split it and like you said, split it into the normal and if they want to call it legendary and normal, or if they want to call it something else because it's a special kind of event, I'm all for that. You know why? That just means there's more rewards.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if they want to give us out more rewards and it comes by way of making a portion of the event easier for lower level players, cool. You know what? I'm all for that.
Well, I'd imagine
leave the hard stuff.
I'd imagine in the normal mode there wouldn't be rebirth crystals because people like gear 8 don't need rebirth crystals. You know what I mean? Like, or
I don't know. I've seen some rebirth. Rebirth gear 8 dead shot higher guns. I'm just saying.
And I've seen some weird stuff out in Wraith PvP where I'm like, why do you have a level 40 RB3 character?
Wraith is a weird place.
Today I seen I killed a Star Sapphire, and I was waiting for the entire team to reset, lose all the debuffs I had stacked and everything, and it didn't happen. And I was like, I thought this was a pretty high powered team, and I look, this guy had a level 70 Star Sapphire. She was L5 and didn't apply the legendary point to her 5. And I was like,
that's a Joshua.
That's a Joshua mistake right there.
It was 1 out of 8, so my health didn't even go up either. So,
maybe we should transition to talking about some of these characters here, like Star Sapphire, because we've talked about the anniversary event. I think
before we go, anniversary was awesome.
It was awesome. I want to see more of it. I want to see again. I'm still kind of in the camp where I think there should be some sort of like dungeon, or I'm saying dungeon, but it would be DC Comics related, but an arena where this is for, you need to be bringing in some big time tunes if you want to play in here. I'm sorry, new players, but this is something you need to work towards. This will give you a reason to build up. Now, if they did it monthly, then I would like to see, maybe legendary mode, non-legendary mode. But if they kept it anniversary, I would just say expand the nodes, add more, and the first few rounds just be easier. Kind of like they do with the hero events. Like the first few rounds are just, you breeze through them. But I still think the difficulty should either be the same or probably harder. I think it would be much more fun at a higher difficulty level there. Trying to be careful with the words I choose. But let's talk about Star Sapphire. Should people out there be showing her some love? I don't know. What do you think?
Right, so
all the love.
The person here who doesn't have her Rebirth 5 and just has her L5, real quick, I'll just say she's really good. I really enjoy her. She is the bane of my existence in Siege right now because I keep forgetting that she's going to disable my entire team if I let her get a turn. And I've been running slow teams lately a lot because I've been running IRB2 Azrael. So I now have to jump back into going in fast again because I need to go before Star Sapphire.
It's people like you, Costly. That's why I'm seeing Azraels when I'm trying to play these siege boards, you know?
I'm trying to play a game with bonus tunes, and I'm running against teams without bonus tunes.
Where I'm at, we'll get
super weird.
Where I'm at right now, I'm not seeing any bonus tunes, okay? So I got to bring out my Azrael and stuff so that I can get my match. Okay?
Imagine playing a game mode and not using the tunes to get extra points. I don't get it.
I know. How about you go say that to everybody I have to fight down in the...
I am looking into the eyes of every single person listening. Why are you not using bonus tunes?
Oh man.
Anyways, so yeah, I'm really enjoying her. She's really good. She is a great Lex counter, and then I'll let you guys take it away. And DaBoy knows way more about her than I do. So
I'll let you start this off, DaBoy. What Star Sapphire? How is she now versus how she was before? And should people be gearing her up?
Okay. Before she was good, right? She was good.
Worked well with Lex.
Yeah, of course, as does 99%. I mean, the only tune that probably doesn't work well with Lex is like
him in the back,
Vandal.
Yeah.
But she was okay. She was like good, not great, but she wasn't bad. She was like kind of there in the middle. She, you know, if you wanted to do a men's based team, you could kind of bring her.
Right.
But she wasn't like anything special.
Yeah, nothing special, but you wouldn't regret if you had her in there for the most part.
Now, I don't know why you wouldn't bring her ever.
Yeah, she's amazing now.
She's
amazing.
She's the tune of the month, 100%. Like, it's not even close. Jon Stewart sucks. Star Sapphire is like the opposite of that and is amazing. Okay.
Oh, she's great. Yeah.
And I know, Costly, you said she's the bane of Lex's existence. She is, but you know, she still works pretty dang good with Lex.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I mean, anytime you can go into a fight and you can, with one buffing move, you can trigger two people's passives. That's pretty good.
Right.
Right. And then she just hands out crit immunity like it's candy. And
that's often overlooked sometimes, and it's often I forget about it sometimes, where I think like I'm worried about her or other characters when it's like, well, wait, you have Star, she's going to be crit immune, and
dude, yeah,
in a game where there's big reds running around, she helps you.
Even in Siege, right? I mean, so when this Siege started and the bonus tunes were announced, and it was like Guy Gardner and Alan Scott, I was like, let's go, right? Because I have Alan Scott Rebirth 5. But guess what? Alan Scott's big damage comes from his 90%, 97% crit chance when he's shielded. Well, guess what? If they're crit immune, it doesn't do anything. It just does regular damage, right?
Yeah, exactly right. And Star
so
gives that out. And just her the debuff on that AoE, it'll just stop you in your tracks.
It stops you. 4 strength downs and 4 int downs and a team-wide buff immunity. Yeah. That's insane. Yeah. It's insane. She's so good. And then double pop basic, greens beware.
Yeah.
She deletes people with the double pop. But like
I'll put
it this way, like that crit immune, I feel like people don't like pay attention to that crit immune enough or don't give it enough credit because like, dude, even at L5, I was fighting an L5. She had crit immunity and she was overhealed completely. I was able to get my Red Hood to take 3 consecutive turns on her because I had so many speed downs going because, you know, I got Mr. Freeze and everything. Right? So 3 consecutive turns from Red Hood, and he procced his 2 off of it every time. He got her to just under overheal after 3 turns.
Your Red
Because
Hood?
she can't be crit.
Yes.
Oh,
and I have
yeah,
an RB4
you can't crit
Red
her.
Hood.
Yeah, you can't crit her.
So like he was just working away. Like, dude, he shot her so many times, all right, and like she never dropped below full
She's
health.
good.
And if
She's
that
so good.
AI was
She's
smart,
so tanky.
she would just drop that heal on her. Well, not with heal immunity, but let's say you do whittle her down, and then you
Yeah.
do take her down as much as you can, and then she just gives herself a little kiss, and next thing you know, she's overhealed to the max, and it's just like, all right.
Bam.
Yeah, it's so sweet.
And then her paired with Saint Walker is insane because
Oh, that
Yep.
Saint Walker to star, where you don't get a double pop, you don't get a triple pop. You get the quad pop, that big quad pop there. And you know what else is nice about it? That it has nothing to do with like damage up or anything. It's just how fast she shoots it. Like, it's so nice. It's a fast animation, and it's just like pop, 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 and then dead. Like, it just Saint says go get him, and then she just takes him out. Like, whoever she has her sights on, they're done.
Oh yeah.
and like that her entire kit is so good. And it was one of those things where it's like everybody was kind of like not sure about her when she first, like, when the rework happened.
Mhm.
There was like people are going back and forth about it and stuff, and like, oh, she's not better, she's better. Like, for instance, Sparky's one of my really good friends, so I'll bring him up a lot in this and everything. And he he loves Star Sapphire. He's one of his favorite characters because it's how he was able to get through some harder like raid content, because she's good in raids. And so like with the with giving int ups and everything, well, when she did give int ups, and and so it was like he was just using her a ton. And then so like once she got reworked, and he's like, oh, they took away that, like, he's like, oh, she's no good anymore.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, go use her. And
Yeah.
like the other day he was like, I started using her more, and you're right, she's way better. And I'm like, I told you.
Well, and how many int ups did she give herself? Like 2, right? On
Right.
basic?
It wasn't anything crazy.
So here's the thing, right? If she's doing 2 int downs, her next attack against that person is gonna hit. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but just as hard as if she had 2 int ups.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So her damage output is actually way higher potential now, especially if you pair her with another int down like Jessica Cruz, and you just start, pew-pewing all over the board. It's great. It's a light show.
And you
So
know what?
you took her RB5, right, boy?
Of course.
Of course. I was gonna say, what happens to a lot of rework characters is what you're saying. What Sparky did is they look at to how they were before, and look at what's changed or taken away, especially if they're using before, and then that's where they kind of snap judgment on the character, like, oh, I use this tune because of this, and now they don't have it, so now it's not that. And I just think it's sometimes these reworks, they get judged too hard on who they were before, and not necessarily just think of it as a new character almost for the most part. Like, she used to, like, to me, her biggest thing when I used her prior to the rework was her ability on her basic would trigger Lex. And that's how I usually gauge if someone can really go well with Lex, is if their basic attack triggers Lex's heal, and hers used to, and now it doesn't anymore. And I remember the first moment I thought, okay, it's not gonna be good, but you just got to use them. See, don't compare them how they used to be. Hey, compare them how they are now. Judge how they are now and how they work, and find a new comp or find a new team to throw them into.
Yeah, that's always a good way to approach reworks. And like for those of us that have like really high end rosters and everything, it's not only is it a new character, it's a new character that I already have L5 and don't have to put in a resource.
Right. Yeah, that's.
So,
now let's talk about that other star, that other lantern boy, John Stewart.
How dare you call him
that other killer. Can he sling that ring?
No, can we skip him?
We gotta talk about him. We did. We've talked about him enough.
That's the review. All right, moving on.
He's not good.
Yeah.
He's bad.
He's bad.
Okay, listen, I was talking with Hate Mail about this.
Okay.
If you want to bring a green affinity tune and you want to have them have an AoE turn meter down, and you want them to have empowered strength ups, Do you know what tune does that at a 10,000 times better clip than Jon Stewart?
You mean that Kilowatt guy?
No. Kilo Cakes.
Oh, the
Get
Kilo
it right.
Cakes. Oh,
Yep.
obviously.
But what is Jon Stewart's AoE? What kind of random crap is 16% turn meter down?
That is really weird, and it just hits so soft, so soft.
Yeah, soft like a pillow.
Yeah, his little pillow fists out there, little pillow bullets that he's throwing.
You got to
around.
watch out for that cotton candy Gatling gun, though. You know.
Yeah.
It's like a marshmallow gun. It's like
I will say there was one match I had with him, and I don't know what the chain of events that led to it, but he had a gajillion empowered strength ups on him, and because I think he has a passive where there's a chance where it can go to someone.
If he's below 50% or something, he has a percent chance to gain strength ups or something.
Yeah. Imagine if they would have just like allowed him to get strength ups on the regular, because that's the problem with that. His big gun. It's everything. He's so weak. He's just such a weak tune. He doesn't hit hard, and that's the big. Like you want like they. No, go for it.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I'm just saying
I want to rant with you.
Okay, because they're giving him these empowered strength ups, and then they just don't like. They don't let him like shine with it. I don't know. Like just give him to him. Let that big chain, that big Gatling gun, let it hit hard. Like let it do something, and then it just doesn't.
Give it a can't miss.
Give it a can't miss. That's what they need. Can't miss.
I would love to join in on this rant, but I have no idea anything about Jon Stewart because I barely used him before. And then when the reworks happened, I leveled him up and everything. I mean, he was already L5, level 80 for me. Mm-hmm. And I applied all the points. And then I went to Reddit and found out he was bad. And I used him one match and he didn't do anything. And I put him away.
Yeah.
So.
And yeah, it's just how it is. It sucks that he. I got excited when Jon Stewart was announced to be a tune that was reworked, and then it just was crap. Like it wasn't good.
You know what the most disappointing thing about his rework is? Not even the fact that it's bad. It's the fact that it's the second time that it's been bad.
Yeah,
they've had two chances to make it better, and it's just awful. It's just awful. Like. The only person that I've ever talked to, I've only talked to one person that's like, dude, Jon Stewart is good. And that is our good friend. That is our good friend Tootytron.
Oh, Tootie. Okay.
Okay. So take that as you will. Tootytron, I love you, buddy. But if Tootytron says the tune is good, take it with a grain of salt.
You gotta think about that for a second.
Yeah, as an owl, I don't want to, Tootytron, I love you, but like this man championed Ra's al Ghul, okay, before the rework, okay, so just that's all we gotta say. All right.
And Tootie has a great way of making not so good characters seem real great too. He's done. Every time I watch one of his videos, I'm like, oh my god, I need to take this character up.
I almost geared Ra's al Ghul.
I almost did the same thing. I was right about to.
Yeah, no, because you can take crappy characters and make them look good. You can do things to make them look good, especially if you put him behind Lex. I know he doesn't put him behind Lex. I'm just saying, you put a tune behind Lex, they normally actually start looking good. If they don't, that means they really are bad.
I think that's enough Jon talk because that's all the talk he honestly deserves. Like it's. Again, he needs a can't miss.
Skip this in the podcast version. In the recorded version. You can skip the Jon Stewart.
You should have to say that before.
Yeah, I should have said that before.
But but main thing, he's a sniper. He's a sniper. He should be can't miss. He should have more empowered strength ups. Right. Should more empowered strength ups. He should can't miss. He should have a leader ability. I think he should have.
Give him the Zod passive where he just can't miss.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Boom.
Yeah.
Boom.
Easy
also,
peasy.
Speaking of the anniversary event, did you know Zod didn't have that ability?
None of them had the ability. None of them had their abilities, like all the anniversary.
Yeah, they did.
All the enemy team. They were just there.
They didn't have any of them.
None of them. So that's like if you killed, like Clayface, if you killed Clayface, he wasn't coming back. If Blackhand there or just whatever, like if there was Blackhand and you killed someone else, you're not going to get debuffed or all that was going on.
Yeah, see, I just remembered him going after my Harley and missing, and I was like, "What? What?"
That was my first playthrough. I remember I said, "Oh no, I did something," and I was waiting for the debuffs or something to happen, and then they didn't. But but the next character that I would like to talk about, and I have a limited interactions with them, is Indigo. Is she Indigo or is she INDINO? I think we got to kick into DaBoy.
Is there a in the middle?
In the middle? Is she an in the yield or?
she's a in the wait and see.
In the wait and see, like, and she's physical damage, isn't she? Not special.
Yeah, she's physical damage, which is kind of weird, and I mean, just everything kind of about her is a little weird. She kind of contradicts herself, like her kit like contradicts herself a little bit because she like needs debuffs to unlock most of her kit, but her basic like transfers debuffs off of her. So it's like, but she wants the debuff so that she can give debuff or that so she can give buff immunity. But if she gives those away with her basic, it's like, meh. But I will say she's probably top 3 cutest, hottest tunes in the game.
You think so? You think those abs are popping?
Those abs are popping.
Yeah.
So I barely put my 2. I have her L2. I messed up. I missed like 2 days of the event. Just like last minute was like, oh crap, and like got like 3 nodes in, and then the day reset. I'm still coping with it now being 4 o'clock because of daylight savings. For the reset, and so I barely put my 2 points into her today. So I don't really have too much to say about her. I don't know that much about what she does or anything because I learn my characters by playing with them. Because if I just read the kit, I'm not going to remember it. But I will say I fought her, or I used her against a Red Hood team, and when there was debuffs all over the place, she seemed to be thriving.
Yep.
Which is an interesting thing to see a character do, because normally when you get drowned in debuffs, it goes the other direction. So
no, she is very good against debuff teams. It's just very odd that she thrives when she is debuffed and her basic gives away the debuffs. It's just very weird.
So it would almost be like she kind of like goes hard for a little bit, and then as the match goes on and she's giving away enough debuffs, she'll like kind of weaken, so she'll ramp up and then ramp down at the same time. Is because I don't use her.
Yeah, no, it's kind of weird because like if she's debuffed off the beat, like out the gate, then she can instantly apply buff immunity to any specific person. And the cool part, I think it's similar to Kilowog's stun, where his stun can't miss even if they have evasions or anything. The damage can miss on it, but it says that you apply buff immunity to the primary target the same way that Kilowog's stun reads. So even if the damage misses, if she has a debuff, 1 or more debuffs, she can still select whoever she wants with buff immunity, which is good. That is a very good ability, but it's gated by her being debuffed. So if she goes first, you can't do that.
Right. So
Azrael can still pop off.
Yeah, the way I judge new characters when they come out, because I usually don't take them up right away. I always let all the big brains out there kind of run the test with them and then do their things, and then I just ride on their coattails, and it's good. All right, then I'll gear them up. But the main thing I do is just fighting them. If they annoy me, if they cause me problems, then I kind of figure from there on how good that tune's going to be. And as of right now, I've only really run into Indigos in Siege, but to me, those are high stress situations. Indigo's never done anything to slow me down. She's there. I actually don't mind seeing Indigo on the other team. I'm just going to kill her. She hasn't done anything to me yet. So for me right now, I feel like Indigo is, of the 2 new tunes, Blackhand has given me more problems, and Indigo she hasn't really done anything to really affect me playing against her.
Here's another thing that's kind of weird with her kit is her second ability is actually a really cool ability. It applies 3 mens to all allies.
Mm-hmm.
It gives 25% turn meter up and damage immunity to the primary target, and then it applies 25% shield to everybody. But what's kind of weird, and I've seen a lot of people do this, like on M4 stream, on just other matches that I've seen videos of, is the damage immunity is almost pointless because it falls off after that tune's turn. So when you give them 25% turn meter up, then they take their turn, the damage immunity falls off. Now I don't know if that's bugged or if that's working as intended, but if you're putting damage immunity on someone, typically you're wanting to put it on like a taunter,
Right.
and you're not wanting them to go again.
Yeah.
Because you don't want them to lose that. But if you give them 25% turn meter, that's a big amount of turn meter. They just go and lose the damage immunity anyways.
And so, from what I understand, she was bugged, right? Is she still
Oh,
bugged?
she's still bugged. Oh,
yeah.
Yo,
she had
dude,
two. She had 2 bugs, and then one got fixed, and the other one
half
didn't.
fixed.
Yeah.
Half fixed.
Oh, half.
Which
fixed.
was the one that got fixed? Was that the call assist? Or
So the call assist, anytime she takes damage, she calls assist on the attacker from a random ally. That was bugged.
That's
her
a really cool
basic.
Okay.
That is, yeah. Anytime she takes damage, anytime she
huge.
takes any kind of damage, she has a 75% chance to apply 2 strength downs and gains 15% turn meter, and calls a random assist.
See, that
on the
sounds like it'd be great.
It sounds like it would be great.
Yeah.
But if it's bugged, we have no way of working it.
Right.
Now that part I think is mostly fixed. I still think I've ran into some times using her where she's not calling assist, which is weird, but it could be that there was a stunned enemy or a stunned ally, and that's the person she called. I don't know. But her 1 is also bugged, but it's bugged in a good way, so she's not transferring the debuffs. Like I told you how that counters her kit. She's not countering the debuffs.
Okay.
So that's kind of bugged, but it's like kind of a good bug.
So in the middle is where she
in the wait and see.
In the wait and see is our kind of our take on her. But now, this is the one I just briefly mentioned him. Black Hand. Are you gonna hold that one, or are you gonna fold that hand? What are you doing? Any of you?
I know nothing about them. So
Kasi yields his time for he hasn't really used.
Here's my review of Black Hand. He is literally I've had 0 problems with him. Because if you know my roster, I'm weighted very heavily to reds and reds that have heal immunity. So he has been literally 0 problem for me. And my one other character that I bring a lot is Wonder Woman, so his Doom still just doesn't do anything because I just purge it off. So that's my review of Black Hand.
I ran into a Doom today.
So
I ran into a Doom today, an in siege match, and he took out my cyborg Superman, which I was very upset about. Couldn't get to him quick enough. Couldn't end the match quick enough before that Doom played in. And for me, again, I mainly judge of how difficult they are, how much trouble they give me. Black Hand has given me a couple troubles here and there. Like he can hit real hard, and he does it. If you got shields up, he's gonna make you pay for that. And there's a lot of shields being dished around. So, but DaBoy, I've heard you call him a blue Larfleeze.
I have.
Right.
I have.
Explain
and
that.
the question you asked is hold or fold this
Hold
hand.
or fold this hand.
And the answer to that question is all in.
All in. You're holding. You're going all in.
I am going all in.
So that means, did you buy shards? Or are you gonna buy shards for RB5?
Okay.
Is that what that means?
It is a very, 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 very likely scenario. Yes, I just bought a new Mac Mini, and I used the Apple credit that I had saved up for RB5 Black Hand on the Mac Mini. So we'll see. I have a couple days to decide. He's good. He is very good. The Doom is an underrated part of his kit, where it's selectable. So if you, I was talking to Hate Mail previously about this, is if there is a a tune that like maybe you don't care about, right? Maybe you're like, I don't want to waste any resources killing this tune. I just want to focus on these other three. I'm not worried about it. I'm just gonna pop this Doom over here and then ignore them for the rest of the match, and then just they'll eventually die.
Right.
Okay. That's one thing. You can put it on a hard to reach character that's maybe crit immune or something like that. You just pop it on there. But the big thing is, Josh, you are not going to like fighting him. You're not going to. Your best tune, your favorite tune, the tune of choice,
my boy,
is rendered useless.
I don't believe you.
Rendered useless.
I refuse.
Have you guys ever gotten into a match and you're against an Arcus, and the Arcus is buffed to the max, but he has death immunity and he's at like 0 HP, but you can't kill him because you didn't bring a purger and you're so scared to hit him.
With Cheetah, he just retaliates and kills Cheetah,
and he just kills everyone. Right? Well, guess what? With Black Hand, that death immunity means literally nothing.
It's his second, right? Black Hand second.
His third.
Oh, third.
His third.
Okay.
He purges every single positive immunity before he does damage.
Right.
So damage immunity, death immunity, crit immunity, debuff immunity, in anything, gone. Just gone. And then the damage goes through.
Yeah.
And it's heavy special damage. So Arcus, adios, amigo. See ya in the next one. Back to the lobby for you, kid.
Okay, sold. Where do I pick up my Black Hand?
Yep.
You talking about his Doom? Oh, let me just touch on this real quick about the selective Doom. All right, and because I lost Cyborg Superman today in a siege match, I was very upset about that. And of course, it went on Cyborg Superman. Like, I had my star there, and the whole time I'm thinking, I just wish I could overheal him over 100%. Because that's what I usually do with Doom. Like, I get like, oh, I'm already over 100%. It's not going to kill him. You know, there's not two Dooms. Could have purged it. I didn't. He died. Plus, she didn't have. I wasn't even able to use it. It was like I just popped it right before.
Okay.
I just popped it right before, so it was very, very, very frustrating. But go on about his third.
Oh, I was gonna say the other thing is, one of his abilities that makes him like Larfleeze. So Larfleeze, when an enemy dies, he gains intups.
Okay.
Right? To hit harder. And then if an ally dies, he gains crit chance up to hit harder. Right? And to potentially crit and do that sort of thing. Well, Black Hand gains both of those anytime anyone dies.
That's amazing.
So if an enemy dies, he gets intups and crit chance up. If an ally dies, he gets intups and crit chance ups. And they're permanent.
That's cool. That sounds good.
So, and with all the shields going around everywhere, right? Like literally every tune.
Every team has shields now. Yeah.
After he gets ramped a little bit, his basic does a plus 100% damage if they're shielded.
And that's when I'm not a fan of Black Hand, is when he pops with that basic and it does massive damage. It like wipes out the shield, takes him down. I'm just like, oh, and then because you take time building those shields up, you know, and he just gone, you know. I just like we were saying, shields are everywhere now. It felt like back in the day, Hal Jordan was the guy that got you shields. Like
he was the shield master,
and that was the only way to get shields. But now it seems like
every tune can
do it, and that's might let Black Hand shine a lot more, because you're going to be running almost every team combat you run into, someone's going to be shielding. And
but that being said, Josh, do not be tricked by his second legendary point,
which is,
it says remove 50% shield from the target. That's not taking a 50% bar of shield. It takes 50% of the available shield.
Okay.
So if they have 10% shield, you're only going to take 5%.
Right. Okay.
So it's kind of bad.
Don't be tricked.
Don't be
take a shield blast. It sounds like that.
Yeah,
you're never going to deplete the shield off, which is normally what you want to do. Because most of the time, like if you're attacking a character that has like a little bit of shield, you're not worried about the shield. It's more or less like stopping Hal Jordan from doing sword, like
And
so
you want people to be shielded when you're using Black Hand because he does more damage to them.
that might be why they did that way. Then that way you're not purging people's shields off with the character that you want people to have shields with.
Probably.
Right.
Yeah. So
yeah.
So I'm super excited to gear him now.
Yeah, you are.
So that means I'm gonna have to do better in Siege. Speaking of Siege, how are you guys doing in Siege?
Well, Costly, how are you doing in Siege?
Costly, how are you doing? Let's go bottom.
Why are we starting with me? Oh.
Let's go down up.
Wait, have you guys noticed you haven't seen me? Is that?
Yeah, I'm not running into you.
Oh, yeah, I wonder why that is. I started off this Siege really well. First 2 days, I didn't drop a match. I was right up there with DaBoy and Josh.
Mm-hmm.
We were all up there in the top 10. I was up there with M4 and everybody. And then
you stopped bringing bonus tunes.
No, I just ran into a bunch of people with Azrael.
Azrael,
I started losing matches left and right. And I decided to stop buying because I didn't have a ton of gems. And for me, when going into the winter's a little bit harder for me, money-wise, because I work a seasonal job and winter is not our season. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to take it easy this month. I was like, Black Hand's cool. I'll get enough to L5. I'm not going to go crazy on him, though. Just because, for me, how DaBoy goes crazy with Lanterns, I go crazy with Batman characters. Yeah. So I was like, I want to save my Rebirth Crystals for some of my current characters, or if any Bat characters come out, and then also save my gems for that. So I did my normal thing of getting all my characters ready for Siege, all L5 level 80. And then I've just been cruising through the Siege right around 60. I log on to do my matches and I'm above 60, from like 65 to 75. And then by the end of the day, I'm sitting around like 55 to 50. And then the next day when I log on, do all my matches, I'm up at 65, 70 again. So
okay.
That's been Siege for me. I'm eventually going to start buying close to the end of Siege to make sure I stay within top 60. But I've been taking the easy road on this Siege. So that's why.
And I mean, let's not get it twisted. Like, getting top 60 in Siege is still nothing to sneeze at. Like, it's one of those sieges. Before I even ever tried pushing in Siege, I would just coast in at, like, I think I'm looking at the ranks here. I would usually coast in at like the 350 if I ran really well. Top 350, top 210 if I was like doing really good, but I would always normally float in around 550. And I think a lot of people that don't have big tunes or a lot of bonus tunes, I think they will all usually float around there. But so to be top 60, don't it's not nothing.
Oh yeah,
too bad.
It's actually like, it's a lot easier to stay top 60 than people think. Yeah, you do have to buy. Don't get me wrong. You can do it without buying. You just have to play perfect to do it without buying. But if you want to be able to like buy like 2 to 3 times a week, maybe only 2 times a week, you can easily stay top 60 with. Yeah. But don't forget any energy. Don't let any energy roll over. No, you gotta do everything.
My nightmare is waking up in the morning, checking my game, and seeing 15 out of 15. That's don't even wanna.
So you guys are way up there in the rankings.
So I guess if we're going bottom up, I guess DaBoy's next, right? No, is it me? Is it me? I'm next. If we're going bottom, you're excused. I'm Siege wise. This has been my best Siege performance ever in Siege. I've only ever bought every day once, and that was that way back when Hate Mail gave me that challenge.
Wasn't that the Guy Gardner Siege?
That was the Guy Gardner Siege. That was the Guy Gardner Siege. And I think I got top 20. I think I got like 19th or something. I finished there buying every single day. But as of right now, I'm currently sitting at 8. So I'm top 10. I'm sitting at 8 right now. And this is actually the latest in the day I've been top 10. I've been kind of creeping up in the top 10 as well. But for me, I felt like I'm hitting my stride. I guess I would call this the second half of Siege. If it's how many days is it? 21 days or
21 days.
Yeah. The second half, I haven't I'm getting real cocky on my stream, by the way. If you haven't seen me on my stream, I'm getting real cocky. I've just been kind of figuring out how to play with the characters, how to play with Star, how to play with Guy. Obviously not John, but
not John.
Yeah, but you know who I think has just been the biggest star for me, even though again we say Star Sapphire is great, is Cyborg Superman. He's a tank of a tank. He just does not die. But I've been doing well. I've been able to beat teams, and I've been trying to be smarter. If I can't run, 18 or the very rare 20 point full bonus, because this siege is, you're not getting full bonus hardly ever with all these Azraels, with all these guys dropping their Azraels in there, costly. Looking at you.
Looking at you.
Looking at you.
Looking at you.
I just want to let everybody know, you can take this as a threat if you want. I am playing my ads every day, and as soon as I get my one Azrael shard that I'm missing for RB3, I will have an RB3 Azrael rolling around in
it's just, yeah. But so yeah, this has been my best siege. Again, I just feel like I'm getting more comfortable learning the players, and I still have a big decision if I'm even going to continue this top 10 push, because as of right now, I don't know if it's worth the extra 18,000 gems or 16,000.
There's only 6 days left. I would just do it.
But that's 12,000 gems. That's
gems.
12,000 gems. No. That's not how you. That's why DaBoy went from 225,000 to 150 with this mentality of there's only X amount of days left or whatever.
I only have 24,000 gems left. About what's gonna take 6,000 of that to be able to do the energy every day, right?
Hey Josh, I don't want to hear it. Just go play your casino game, okay?
Okay. How many days are left? There's 6 days. So that's 7 buys though. There's 6 days and 20 hours. So 7 buys. So 14,000 gems.
Well, but here's the thing. The last day, you may not need to buy. Because well, I mean, if you're bad, maybe.
Okay, well, I'm not. You've seen the streams.
I'm just kidding. But sometimes people don't buy the last day. Like if their positions are solidified, then sometimes you don't have to buy the last day.
That's true. I have noticed there's a clump of players right around, because there's a separation between 6 and 5. Well, actually, right now, Vincent Young just played, so he's caught up to Empowered. But there's a little clump of players that are, I think it ranges from 6 all the way down to about 12. And so there's a clump of us that if we don't buy, you're out. I think that's what it is. So I'm nervous about that. I have a feeling I may need to buy. I don't know, because top 10 is something like. There's a jump between top 10 and what's the next grouping? 20, top 20, I think. But
yeah, so it's 10, 20, and then 60.
Yeah, and I talked about this on my stream how I feel like I would be paying again about 14,000 gem. I'd be paying 14,000 gems for an additional 120 shards. 14,000
and 50,000.
I don't care about 50,000 LE. You can farm that you can farm that, no problem.
How many gems is that?
2,000 gems. It's 4,800 to get 100,000 gems. So 2,000.
And how many gems is 100 character shards? 8,000.
Okay. All right. So I get what you're saying. But
do you get what I'm saying?
I do get what you're saying. But I also
you get the notoriety being a top 10 siege player.
Well, who knows that?
Take it from a professional gem spender. Yeah, just do it.
I'm really, 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 really on the fence about it. Like, I'm no joke. My mood swings hourly where I'm thinking like, if I'm not playing siege, I'm like, I'm not going to push anymore. And then when I finish my siege, I'm like, maybe I will push. I don't know. It changes. I literally am going to decide tomorrow if I'm going to continue pushing for top 10, because they don't give me a badge. If they gave me like a top 10 badge that could show up in my profile, then I would do it. But for 120 shards of Black Hand,
the real question, Josh, is will more 1,500 members finish in the top 10 than OWL members?
Ooh, that is something. Those owls, they're not. I mean, how many L's I got? 1,
Don't drag me
2,
into
3.
this.
There's 4 of them.
What, 5? Currently 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 owls. Okay, so there's 5 owls, but
They,
yeah,
they hunt in packs.
yeah, they do.
They
Those
do.
owls hunt packs.
They definitely do.
But all right, enough about me. DaBoy, how's your siege going? You are doing your world's finest push. How's that
Yeah.
looking?
It is, without giving away too much competitive information, it's going pretty well.
Okay.
I have lost a couple matches, but it doesn't seem to be affecting me as negatively as I thought, because I have been able to full bonus tune revenge a lot with Black Hand.
Okay.
Black Hand kind of ramping on any death on revenge and not having to 3-star. You probably, if you check the leaderboards regularly, you'll probably see me with a Guy Gardner lead a lot because it opens up the match with crit immunity and damage immunity on
which is
some of the tunes that I bring.
huge.
Yeah. So Black Hand has allowed me to full bonus tune revenge a lot. The only teams that I can't full bonus tune revenge are those pesky Azrael teams, and they're pretty much everywhere now. So I haven't been able to do those for the last couple days, but
Okay.
I have a tune in my repertoire, however you say that word, that I use every time to counter Azrael, and it works 99% of the time. So
Is this you're keeping this one close to the vest?
I'll keep it a little. No, I'll just tell you guys. You guys know
yeah.
it. It's Kilowog.
Kilowog does. You drop that stun on Azrael, and he's not moving.
And he doesn't move. And because mine is Rebirth 5, I would say probably a little bit more than 50% of the time he one-shots the Azrael.
Oof.
So
I just never looked at him. I don't like space pigs. But
and he's fast.
Yeah,
so,
I'm still bringing Arcus. When I see Azrael, I bring Arcus. I just bring him, delete him.
The reason I bring Kilowog is because it allows me to not worry unless it's like Martian Manhunter Azrael, then I have to like match with Manhunter. But if it's not Martian Manhunter, then it allows me to still use 3 bonus tunes, maybe even again not a leader, just put with Guy Gardner in there.
Yeah. Because that turn meter down off that hammer gives you kind of like a speed up, like a little bit of Mr. Martian effect. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's fast. He's 125 speed, so he's faster than most tunes.
He's faster. Yeah, he's faster than Cersei. That's I found that out the hard way.
He's faster than Cersei.
Faster than Cersei.
So it's been good. There's kind of like you mentioned a kind of a grouping from like 5 to 12. In the top 4, there seems to be developing a little bit of a group.
Right.
It's kind of there's the 2 at the top right now, and then there's M4, and then because I have those couple lost matches, I'm kind of like in that limbo area right there, by myself, all the way. But we'll see. There's 7 days left. These tunes are, I think we're 2 weeks in, so people are starting to figure out how to play with these tunes a lot now. But there is still some unpredictability with these tunes, right? Sometimes Guy Gardner retaliates like a maniac, and sometimes he doesn't. So there's still a lot of time for the Whale Chicks, the Twin Cities, the M4s. There's a lot of time for those guys to mess up a match or two. And I'm gonna be there.
See, I think that's what was hard for me at the beginning of the siege was I was not practiced with these bonus tunes at all. For the first couple matches, I completely forgot that how Cyborg Superman works with the can't miss.
Yeah.
So it's like there's times where I could have I was having problems with like evasion characters, and he's sitting there like I can throw the boulder and kill them, just do it, and I'm like, I think I got to use the basic because that's the one that can't miss.
Yeah,
like,
basic can't miss. Yep.
And then, but it's like after you use the basic, then you can use the other abilities, and the next one just doesn't miss. So it's like I was having problems with that kind of stuff, and then I had never used Guy Gardner before this siege. Like he was L5 level 80, fully maxed out for me, just because the way that I do like
how you do.
Yeah, and I had never used him, and I slotted him
so
into the
good.
team and was like, and I'm actually really enjoying him now. He's really good, but I didn't know how to use him, and I was like, I don't know how this works, and so like it was trial and error for me a lot on the first couple matches. That's probably why I dropped so hard so fast. So, because I dropped down to top 60 real quick.
He's real good.
Yeah,
He's the best leader in Siege.
Who?
Guy
Cyborg?
Gardner.
Guy Dark?
Is he? Wait a second.
No, he's not a leader.
I have seen him out there in the leader position. You know.
Yeah, I see him.
I put him in the
DaBoy
leader
does that.
position. I like to see that little carrot top guy on my portrait.
Because like, here's the thing: the only leader we have in the bonus tunes is Cyborg Superman, and nobody really uses him for leader. So
Exactly.
Yeah, you sneak him in if the other team doesn't have like a Martian. I'm just seeing. I feel like every time I look at the
It's
Siege,
Martian
Martian
Manhunter all over the
Manhunter.
place.
Yeah, it's just
Oh,
Martian Manhunter.
So...
And Cheetah's been popping her head up. Like I've been seeing a lot of Cheetahs too. So
I only see one cheetah. And it's a Rebirth 5 cheetah from Bolsey.
Bolsey's,
and
yeah.
It drives me through a wall
Yeah.
because it like
Wait a second,
buffs up
Rebirth
Alan
5?
Scott.
Rebirth 5 drives you through a wall.
No, Rebirth 5 cheetah in this siege drives me through a wall.
So what you're telling me is that I should just redeem my 5,050 shards I have on Cheetah.
Yes. Waste them on cheetah. She still dies, but
Yeah.
she's annoying.
So what else we got to talk? I think that's how our siege is running. I think. Go on.
Yeah. So what we didn't, I forgot to put this on the list of what we were going to talk about, but we mentioned it. Raid. Like, do we have a raid into this month?
Oh.
And should there be one? If there is,
There is one this month.
Okay, that's confirmed for sure?
Yeah, I think Reeves posted that there will be one this month, but not in December.
November raid, but no December raid.
Okay, so
and it's
how do you guys feel about that?
Is it gonna land on Thanksgiving?
Yeah, I think it's the 25th.
Thanksgiving weekend, yes.
Yeah, Thanksgiving weekend. I mean,
Okay.
I'm just gonna be real honest with you here.
Will be
We're getting locked down. We're getting locked down in Washington again, so I'm gonna just be home, just doing my
yeah.
raid.
I know it's kind of a special thing this year because of everything that's been going on with COVID and everything, but at the same time, it's like, in my personal opinion, we should only be raiding 10 months out of the year. November and December just should have some other event, not raids. You know what I mean? Still, like, take our rewards we normally get from raids or tone them down a little bit and then throw them into an event for everybody. You know?
I'm down for that.
In November, we have the anniversary event, so there you go. That's already done there. December, do a Christmas event.
Easy peasy.
Yeah, there you go. Instead of doing raids, because, like, here's the thing, like, raids take up so much time, and like Thanksgiving is the time you're supposed to be with your family, right? And I also get, like, because I've heard people be like, well, not everybody's American that plays the game. I'm like,
Right.
okay, I understand, but it doesn't change that in America we have Thanksgiving that weekend. And it's like, I just think, I don't know, like, I'm not really happy about hearing that there is, and then because it's like, I probably am going to end up being at home. I'm going to try and stay home because normally I end up staying home Thanksgiving anyways, because with our company, like, somebody has to be here to man everything.
Mm-hmm.
But my family goes up into the mountains normally. We have a cabin up there, and I love going up there. And
no cell reception in the mountains.
Yeah.
Harder raid.
Yeah. So it's like, because like most people, like for Thanksgiving, like the only 3 holidays I can think of where people actually go do things out of town normally is Christmas, Thanksgiving, and Easter. That's all. Like Easter for me, just in the kind of community I grew up in, a lot of people go dirt bike riding or dirt bike riding. I don't know why I said that weird, but and then same thing with like Thanksgiving. They do that on Thanksgiving weekend as well, and then Christmas is like my family goes up to our cabin and stuff. So it's like for me, I'm like, I just don't like there being like, especially because the raid would fall on Thanksgiving.
Would wait, Thanksgiving's on Thursday, so it would be the first day, right?
Yeah, the first day. You ignore the first day.
Yeah, I
anyway,
mean, it's the first day. I mean, again, if you're out of town and going stuff, you're going to be out somewhere. But I mean, it's on the first day because I'm trying to think. Like, I could barely
last
remember.
Year there wasn't a raid in November or December last year.
Oh, so okay, I remember. And
because it was the October raid was so bugged
They
that
had to
they
take it
took
off,
2 months off. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Now, I remember that happening, and then I thought they were gonna do like every other month on raids. I'm happy it's once a month, but I like again, yeah, it's Thanksgiving. But it is Thursday. Like I don't do like to me raid starts Friday at reset. That's when raid starts for me.
Yeah, I get it. It's just my whole thing is like that's what. Not only is that when families are normally like together, it's like I mean, I know it's been a weird year this year, but it's like
Mhm.
schools are normally out that
Right.
week and everything. So it's like you don't want to like take people away from their families at that time. It's kind of what I'm saying. Like, because raid requires so much attention to where it's like I think even something they could do if you want to do November raid, move it to the first week of December.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
you could.
Like instead of like you could move it a week early in November or something. Like I don't know, but then you're intersecting with Siege. I guess if you move it anywhere, it's intersecting with Siege.
Yeah,
But
that's the thing.
uh,
I just think it's hey, it's Thanksgiving's the one Thursday. I mean, it's not like it's Thanksgiving is not a 4-day holiday. You know, it's not. I mean, it
Yeah.
is. I mean, and at least it's the beginning. I mean, yeah, it's just how it is sometimes. I mean, yes, we are in the U.S. We do Thanksgiving. Other countries they don't. So it's just I guess it's just how it is.
Sometimes
Sometimes
it really be like that.
Sometimes it be like that, you know. Sometimes it be like that. But let's talk about. Then I guess that's all the DCL talk that we have to kind of throw out there. I know. Kasi, you wanted to talk about
different games we've been
a
playing and
different
stuff.
game you've been playing. Yeah.
So do you want me to start, or do you? You
Well,
guys
I mean, I could start. I guess I
I'm gonna
don't.
have the biggest section. So you
Yeah,
guys,
for me, I haven't been playing any other games as of right now. I've played Phasmophobia on and off. I enjoy that game, and when we get a little 4-man squad running in that, that's fun. But for me, my mainstay is PUBG. That's what I always kind of just fall back to. I tried to leave it once, and then I came crawling back. And but for me, yeah, it's PUBG. I don't, DaBoy, how about you?
I'm not. The last 3 weeks have been crazy busy for me. I have not played anything besides basically Siege and the PvP event or matches that I need
Right.
to play for Siege. That's
Right.
about it.
And I mean, of course, Among Us is out there. I think that's everyone.
Of course, yeah.
Among Us is fun. And that doesn't.
which I actually got to play with you.
You did your first time.
Yeah, I was told you had Among Us, and I never believed because every time I asked, you were like, "Oh, I can't," and I'm like, "I just think he doesn't have the game."
No.
That's because but
And so you've been playing Destiny 2.
so yes, Destiny 2 just had its newest expansion come out called Beyond Light, and its new season started, which is Season of the Hunt. So it has its season rotations that normally go every 3 months. This last one was like a 6-month season, just because of COVID and everything. They pushed stuff back because this expansion was supposed to have come out like it was either September or October.
Mhm.
So, but it's out now. It's a very chilly DLC. It's on a snow planet. Blizzards happen that can push your Sparrow around. It's really cool. And Sparrow, for anybody that doesn't know, is like the bike you ride on in the game. Think like the speeders from Star Wars. And it's a pretty interesting expansion. It's not the biggest expansion I've seen them do. It's good. It brought something really interesting though. For the first time in Destiny, it is your so if anybody's know the story of Destiny, I'll break this down super quick. It's basically Earth like thousands, millions of years in the future, whatever. And this like traveler who's like traveled throughout space arrives at it's like this floating orb. It arrives in our solar system. It makes it all of the planets in our solar system inhabitable. Humanity thrives.
Mm-hmm.
It's a golden age, and then something happens, and the traveler pretty much shuts down. And then like 300, 400 years later, that's when you arrive on the game, and you are a guardian, which is like they're the warriors of this great ball in the sky thing that gives you powers. You normally it's called the light and all that stuff. Well, this expansion introduced for the first time being able to commune with the dark powers in the game. And that brought upon new powers that are like freeze powers and stuff, and it's really really cool. It's I've been having a lot of fun in it. I am currently playing it as much as I can whenever I do have free time, because in Destiny they have like these raids, and the raids in there are like they're exclusive content. They're crazy. It's like think like WoW style raids and stuff like that, but
Okay.
for like first person shooters. And I'm trying to get to the appropriate light level, which is gear level in that game, to dive into the raid on day one with my fire team this upcoming Saturday. So when they release the raid, so I've been grinding the heck out of that game, getting ready for that.
So is this like like you said, WoW style? It's like MMORPG, but with first person shooters.
It's a first person shooter MMORPG. It's made by
Okay.
Bungie. It's made by the people that made Halo.
Okay.
So and it's a really good game, and it's also free to play on PC now. Or it's free to play everywhere. It's just like this new expansion. You have to buy the expansion.
Oh,
But
okay.
like, to play the base game is free.
Okay.
So anybody ever wanted to give it a try, that's that. And besides that, I've been playing Raid Shadow Legends.
Oof.
It's been a lot of fun. And I won't jump too far into that, but I'm having a lot of fun with it. And
Raid
I haven't
Shadow Legends.
I haven't streamed it all
today.
week, and it wasn't because of that. It was because work. But I've been kind of doing like at the end of my streams lately. I've been doing raid a little bit, and I don't know how that's catching on. I've noticed my viewership drop off a whole lot when I switched to raid.
Oh.
So I don't know. We'll see how that goes. I think it's a pretty interesting game, and we have a lot to learn from it as DCL players that they even WB could bring into DCL. And so one of those things where it's like I'd like people to pay attention to the game, not necessarily me playing it, but just pay attention to the game and be like, hey, look at these ideas we can drag over here. You know,
Yeah.
there's a lot of really good content in that game.
There's,
So-
I mean, I think everyone knows this. There's a lot that DC or WB can do for DC Legends to just make it, and it would almost seem like just such small things they need to do to just really take this game, I don't know, just to the next level, I guess. To just be, I don't know, just to make it so much more content, more. I mean, because after you beat that campaign, it says more coming soon, and it's been coming soon for a long time. So it's just how it is. Like there's a lot they need to do.
What is soon, WB?
Yeah,
what is your definition of soon?
I just want to make one comment here, and this is my prediction. But I recently started taking characters up to level 80. I haven't been doing. I had never always been stuck at 75. What? I was going to go. I finally went level 80, and here's why I'm doing it. This is the main. This is based off of a nothing. I feel it in my plums. I feel it deep inside. I'm calling it level 90 G12 is coming summer next 2021 summer, and I don't want to be too far behind the curve. So I'm calling it. And
you know how many whales would be so happy?
And with it, is going to. There's going to be a new campaign, and I think the power levels we saw from this anniversary event is what we're going to be seeing later on. So, that was honestly after the anniversary event. I said, you know what, they have the ability to make them harder. So they're going to have the new campaigns ready to go. It's gonna be.
We all know how Josh likes things harder.
I want him harder, but that's my big my final take on this is DCL. Be ready, summer 2021. I'm calling it now. It's happening.
I'm ready for something.
I'm gonna bet the over.
Should we do a bet? Should we?
I mean, I'm betting the over on the summer.
So you're saying after? All right. Well, what's half of what's June is the halfway point. All right. By June 15th. By June 15th, we're gonna have G12 level 90. I'm calling it.
Look, I'm here for it if they bring it out. Like I want it. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
I think there's so much they could do in this game that would just make it like it's one of those things where it's like not to like start living on raid, but me over here playing raid, I'm enjoying playing it so much because the game is encouraging me to make teams and upgrade tunes to make them better, and it's a
different. different teams.
Yeah, like you
Whereas
can't
in
just take like the Lex team wouldn't work in this game. You know what I mean? Like Lex would work, like a Lex team would work good in arena. Like the team that I run in arena is pretty underpowered, but it's because I run a speed team in arena and raid. But then it's like when I go to play like for instance like Dragon's Lair, like when the dragon is going, like when it comes around his turn, he has like so much health you got to take out before he attacks.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't do it, he stuns your entire team and then gets around to his next turn and then applies a whole bunch of poisons, and it absolutely wrecks your team. So you have to like meticulously make a team that can just nuke down the dragon's health super fast. But if you bring nukers, normally they don't have a lot of defense, and there's 2 waves of enemies you got to get past to get to the dragon. So like if you bring a bunch of nukers, they're not going to make it past the first 2 waves because they're going to die before they get to the dragon. And then you get to the dragon, and your defense guy that's like sitting there, he's like, yeah, I'm ready for all the hits. And then he can't take the dragon by himself. But it's like also on that same factor, you can't then take that team and go to Ice Golem with him, because Ice Golem has a thing where it's like every 20% of his health that you take out, he does an attack that revives his minions. And for each one of his minions that are up, he ignores the defense of your character by 50%.
That one's really annoying.
So if you drop his health too fast, guess what? He hits you with 100% ignored defense, one shots your entire team. So you can't like bring an auto team that just nukes his health,
right?
Because he's going to start wiping your team out. You got to bring an auto team that will kill the minions and then damage him, and then kill the minions again, then damage him. And like the auto works just as well as it does in DCL and Raid, which is bad. But you play around that, you know what I mean, in Raid on like you design teams around it and stuff. So it's pretty interesting. And I would love to have that kind of thing in DCL where like I really got to think about what I'm doing. Even if I hit auto, which is like that's the golden raid that you want to do because it has a multi-battle system where you can do 100 multi-battles. Like so like when I go to bed, I tell it to go farm a dungeon for like 100 battles. And it does it.
That is pretty cool.
I would love to just go farm some blue rings for me while I sleep.
Yeah, because this game doesn't have instant battle. Like we don't have Speed Force and Raid and stuff like that. So you basically want to build teams that can do stuff really fast. So in that game, what you do is like you get a team that can reliably auto like dragons, or the highest node in dragons you can do, or the highest node in Ice Golem or Fire Knights and stuff like that. And then when you go to bed, you hit multi-battle, and then you tell it, like you can tell it to keep going even if you lose. That way, when it doesn't get hung up if you like something weird happens and you lose, and then you can tell it to use gems to refresh the energy. And so then you wake up the next morning, you come back into here, and like because it's also available on PC. I run it on my PC when I go to bed, and I look over here, and it's like, oh, I got a whole bunch of gear to play with now. And so like, and then I'll put that on the characters and stuff, but I have to design teams to be able to do that, to where it's like you got to design teams around your auto team, if you get what I mean. Like in DCL, like a team that can auto most things can auto everything.
Yeah,
you know,
there's plenty of characters, there's plenty of team comps you can build in DCL that can just do good everywhere without thinking. Press auto and you're good. So
if we're talking about, there's two things. If we're talking about things from other games that we'd like to kind of see implemented into DCL, there's kind of two things that I would like to see. I don't know if this is a topic that we were planning on, but
go for it.
We weren't planning on it, but we're in it now.
The first one is, I mentioned to you guys at the very beginning of this that the kind of the first big mobile game that I played was the Clash of Clans game, right? I think that an alliance war feature kind of set up like the way they had that would be awesome. And for those of you who don't know how it was, is let's say there's 30 people in an alliance. Basically, it takes the highest powered people in your alliance and it ranks them by total by highest power score. And then it matches you up against the corresponding opponent in the opposing alliance. In Clash of Clans, you would do raids on their village and try to beat as much of their village as you could. In DCL, they could do it like a PvP, and you could try to beat them. Maybe it could be like a time thing, like whoever beat the opponent the fastest, and you can set your defense team, set that, and then go in and try to beat that. I think that would be a super cool feature added for alliances that would encourage more user engagement in the alliances. It also would be, you could have there's all these debates going around that which alliance is the number one PvP alliance, right? I mean, I'm just saying, if we go into a match and the top player from one alliance beats the top player from another alliance, that's some major bragging rights.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
I feel like that's also something that makes more sense in today's DCL than it did
yes.
Yeah.
Because of the rebirths. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like one of the I've actually brought that idea up before, and like what a lot of people, the response I normally get when I bring up the alliance mode from Clash of Clans, getting that in here, the response I normally get is, well, what if my alliance fights another alliance and I'm a Gear 8 player and I face up against a Gear 11 player?
Then you lose.
Then also, if you want to complain about that, somebody complain to your alliance leader that accepted the alliance
and accepted the challenge. So there should be in the alliance war, like it could be a different tab, right, or it could be a different event, screen on the homepage. You should be able to, as the leader, because in Clash of Clans you could say, hey, we're going to start an alliance war this weekend on Saturday, and we're going to do it. We're going to do the alliance war, and usually it lasts. I think there's like a planning phase, and then there's a fighting phase, and then there's a winning phase. So usually it takes like 2 or 3 days. Yeah. You can scout the alliances that you're going to fight. So if you're a Gear 8 alliance, you're not going to go say, all right, guys, let's go fight Kingdom of Atlantis, right? Yeah. Or if you're, the Owls, you're not going to say, let's go fight the 1500.
Yeah, that would be suicide for them.
That would just be suicide.
Yeah. For the Owls or the 1500? Hold on, back up there.
you heard me. You heard me. No, I'm just kidding. But the second thing I think that would be, it literally would be free money for WB. Literally would be free money. And they already have a way of keeping track of scores and keeping track of this. And there's a lot of players. All 3 of us are capped out at level 80, right? Our player levels.
Oh, power levels.
Right?
Yeah, power levels, yes.
Yeah. So our account levels are capped at level 80. So all of these events that we're doing that are giving us XP, it goes towards nothing.
Yeah.
It goes to nothing. It's a waste, right? Implement a $5 or $10 per month battle pass.
Oh, I want a battle pass so bad.
And give it, different things where you have to earn XP, you have to play X amount of PvP matches, whatever you want to put in there. But put some good rewards in there. Put some rare hero shards in there. Yep. Put some rebirth crystals in there. I guarantee you,
a battle pass would be amazing.
And they already have a way to keep the tiers. Look at the way that raids counts your tiers, right? There's 70 tiers in raids. There's already a way that implemented that they can just sticker slap that onto a battle pass and do it XP wise. Guess what? It also would give all the level 80 players excuses to rerun some of those content, like the anniversary content that gave XP the second run through. Guess what? Go run that. Go run a ton of PvE matches.
Yeah.
It would give us more things to play for, more things to be engaged with. And I'm telling you, the way battle passes go, if there's any game out there that kind of is inclined to prove that battle passes work, look at Fortnite. Look at how much money they have made by charging $10, and they do it like once every 6 months. And they are hundreds of thousands of dollars a month go into that game.
Yeah. I think the battle pass for this game would just be, it would just only benefit the game. I don't see anyone like quitting because of a battle pass. They just may not buy it, but I don't think. Yeah, it's just
optional.
It's optional. Yeah, and I don't. You wouldn't want it to be the thing you get from battle pass is gonna break change the game, but you just want it to.
Don't give like exclusive characters.
Yeah.
But just give more of the
exclusive skins
or exclusive skins.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can do so much more with skins and stuff like that.
Man.
Give a tier 50. Give a 50 tier battle pass that you have a month to complete. Right, you can have it for the whole month.
Right,
it's available on the first day of the month.
Right.
Kind of like the brand new tune pack. $5 or $10 a month.
Yep.
And if you reach tier 50 or 25 or whatever they put it, you get an exclusive skin.
Yeah, that would be perfect.
So there's one other game mode that I would love to come over from. I've talked about it before, from Raid over to DCL, is the tag team arena. So basically, the way this works, I've explained it a little bit before. But say if I was fighting DaBoy, right? I would have to take my roster and build 3 teams to fight his 3 defensive teams. Now, here's the thing: you can have, because the way raid works, you can have copies of characters, but it's literally like say for instance, there's a character named Coldheart. If you have 2 Coldhearts, it's literally Coldheart 1 and Coldheart 2. You know, it's not a copy of Coldheart. Where so if you did this in Tag Team Arena, in DCL, like you wouldn't be able to have Batman CC on Team 1 and Team 2 because we don't have duplicate characters, right? So if you put him on Team 1, he's not going to be on Team 3, and so there's a lot of interesting things you can do here because you actually set your defensive team in Tag Team Arena. So like I could do something where it's like if I specifically wanted to counter like a Lantern team, I could do a lot of things where I would take out shields and
you just bring Black Hand.
Yeah, I would kind of bring a team to deal with lanterns and stuff like that. So it's interesting, and the way it works is you have to win 2 of the 3 matches to win the entire thing. Now that would be a cool thing, but I have a question for you guys. So everybody wants new content, right? What if? So I was just thinking about this when you guys were talking about the battle pass. So bring in a battle pass, right? Just like you were saying. But what if we completely changed the way content worked in this game? So if they did something, because I don't know if you're familiar with
too much money for the dev team.
Well, because what you could do, because I don't know if is it a money issue or is it a time issue is the reason why they don't do, because like they got to work on the new characters and everything. What if they did, if you're familiar with the way Raid introduces new characters, or its login rewards rather, the way logins work in Raid, it's not consecutive. It's literally like at 30 days you get this character, at 60 days you get this character, at 90 days you get this character, and so on. And they have all the way, it's like 200 and something days, right? Whatever's an increment of 30 going up to 200 and something. And so the way that works, and then they bring out new characters every, once in a while. And then for DCL, they could do their normal sales they do, like the $100 sales, when that character comes out, and not have it tied to a specific month anymore. But then that would allow them to start pumping out more content, more chapters, more difficulties. Like they could do a lot more interesting things content wise. And then maybe that'll come with then that's when you do Gear 12, level 90. And then we get like legendary difficulty, and we get chapter 9 and 10, and then they bring in like a new game mode that gives more blue rings and more gear, and it's like when we take these characters up, right, like just expand the game out a whole lot, you know what I mean? And like you could change up the way it works a little bit. Would that how would you guys feel about like them changing the way that would work there? You know what I mean?
I think this game is beyond a point where they can just shake it up that hard, because it's just there. It's been this way so long that it would have to be, like a new company would have to come in and restructure everything. But I think it would just be too much for everyone to do that big of a shakeup.
Yeah. And like with the login right now, it's already so different. Like for new players versus like veteran players. When a new player starts, they get
Superman.
They get Superman, and they get double the amount of gems.
Yeah.
Right. But I think if you implemented something like that, it would take away that new player starting month, if you will. I mean, maybe the first 30 days, becomes that.
Well,
I know the one thing with Raid is it's not consecutive days. It's like days that you log in.
Yeah, but also the way the Raid does it to solve the new player problem is, yes, there's a character that drops at 30 days, but for your first month, they also give you a new character at the end of every week that you log in.
Right.
So to get you started faster, but then again, like this is just me playing other games and like trying to grab stuff. It's like, I think it's interesting the way they do it. I don't want DCL Raid Shadow Legends. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I just think there's interesting ideas, and it's fun.
There's definitely things that DCL can do and take note from other. Yeah, I think everyone just wants more content.
It
The
sucks when like
easiest.
I jump on these other games and I look and I'm like, oh, they have 4 difficulties for their campaign and 12
Yeah.
chapters.
Mm.
Oh, that's crazy. Like,
The easiest thing. So games like this, it's all about money,
Mhm.
right? The easiest way for WB to make money, besides releasing new tunes and reworks and Siege every month, is do a battle pass.
Yeah, I think the
Do
battle
it.
pass is 100% the way to go.
I don't know why there's not.
Monthly,
Yeah, there should be one.
monthly battle passes. Whether
Mhm.
it's $10, I mean, if it was $20 but it gave good enough like
It would have to give something. Yeah, for I think.
Well, yeah, but let's say if it's $20 and it gives you, let's say, 8,000 gems, it gives you, over the course of the month, right? Like you get like as you hit different tiers, you get
Right.
200 gems, you get 500 gems, you get 1,000 gems, you get two. I know that may be generous, right? But if
Mhm.
it's $20 and you can join that, and then it resets every month,
Yeah.
that's instant revenue for the company, for the game, for everything.
I think $10 would be the sweet spot because that's the battle pass
I
that
do
you see
think
in every
battle pass
game.
is
It's
$10.
usually like
Yeah,
$10.
$9.99.
Yeah, $9.99. Get the battle pass. Get all the goodies.
Yeah.
Keep playing. Keep playing. That's what you want. You want people on the game.
On that note, what are you guys more interested in? Gear 12 level 90 or DC Legends 2?
Gear 12 level 90. I don't want to do DCL 2 because
Yeah.
that makes me lose my entire investment.
Yeah, that means yeah.
I've always thought like because I've heard people like, oh, it'd be too like, why can't they make a DCL2 with a better engine and then port all of our characters over?
Yeah, if they can port it over, fine. But
I don't
if they
see
can't,
it, like,
Yes, if they bring my characters over, I'm all about it.
Yeah,
But if
I'm
not,
all-
no.
yeah.
Everybody's argument for that always is like, oh, it would be too much. Like, why? We spent a bunch of money on these characters. Why can't they just be like, oh yeah, this is this guy's account. Here's his user ID. Here's his Apple ID. Here's all of the characters. Move it over to the next one. You know what
because
I mean?
they would make money not porting them over. Like, yeah, you might lose some of the old players, but you're going to
I
gain
would quit.
some. Yeah, I wouldn't.
I would
if they came with a DC Legends 2 and they said, all right, DC Legends is done, I would say, all right, it was fun, but I can't.
I'm not gonna lie. If a DCL2 came out, like I would I'd play it, but I wouldn't play it to the amount that I play now.
Yeah.
I would just switch over to full-time Raid Shadow Legends, probably.
Oof. Don't say that. Don't say that.
Yeah.
Warner Brothers, if
just
you're
because
listening,
because at that point it's like, okay, so the game that I'm super invested in drops off. Well, instead of reinvesting from scratch in a new game, this other game I've been investing in, I'll just play that one now.
yeah,
like
if DCL2 comes out and the characters aren't ported, I will quit.
Yeah.
Oh, if characters are ported, I'll keep playing. But if we lose our roster, then
Yeah, then I'm done.
unless they like put a really really big carrot on the end of that stick.
It would have to be a really. I ain't Bugs Bunny. It would have to be
Yeah.
a really big.
We talked a lot today, and I feel like there's still more to talk about, but we can definitely save that for another day. More ideas to toss around, more possibly some comic movie news or anything.
Hopefully something comes out in the comic front. I know
Yeah.
Punchline #1 just came out or whatever.
Yeah, Punchline would be interesting.
I haven't read it yet. I am going to read Joker War and then get caught up on that so that next episode we can talk about it. But because I know there's not a whole lot of reading you have to do to get caught up on that. And yeah, for me, but yeah, no comic talk today, unfortunately, because we're already at almost 2 hours.
Yeah.
And I have to render this tomorrow, and so yeah.
Blame that on me. It's my first time. I'm sorry. I went long.
Oh no. This is worth going over on because but I mean, the first episode was almost 2 hours as well.
Yeah.
Real quick, can I saw a question in the chat from Crushburger. The odds of interviewing Reeves or one of the devs, there's no possibility of that.
I mean, if I said, hey, it's Joshua's,
I think that there's no possibility, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, like here's the thing, like they haven't even interviewed Reeves, I don't think, on WROL, and we have nowhere near the numbers of WROL. Part of that is like we need to advertise a little bit better, but it's the.
I think I don't think that Warner Brothers. I don't think it's a matter of them that they're not allowed to. I think that it's a matter of them not wanting to because they don't want to say something or something like that and have the community hold them to it.
Right.
Remember what
but
happened
I
last
know,
time they did that?
yeah.
Yeah.
I know that WRL had an interview with Stanner, who is an awesome person, by the way. And they were only able to do that after she left WB.
Yeah.
So not even after she left the DCL, it was like after she left Warner Brothers, period. So,
yeah.
But as far as like the show going forward and everything, like we were kind of like waiting for DaBoy to get done with work stuff so that he could jump on, because this whole idea originally was the three of us, so we wanted to make sure we had all three of us on here. I haven't even really talked to these guys about it, but I imagine eventually we'll have guests and stuff like that on. But right now, like, it's also kind of like we're just three dudes that stream DCL and decided all to come together to do this podcast. So it's like I kind of want to wait for it to take off a little bit more before we. But then again, in this space, how far can we take off in the DCL space? You know, so
it'd have to be comics focused.
Yeah. So that's why we're doing the comics stuff on the end. We're not doing that today, but we'll have comics and movie talk and everything. So and then we haven't even talked about this at all, but I imagine we're going to still try to get our normal amount of episodes out throughout December, even throughout the holidays. We'll just record at different times. We might not be recording at our normal times or something.
And we may not even do a Twitch one either. We may not. It could just be, just.
But I do definitely want to. I haven't even talked to them about it, but I do definitely want to still get our normal amount of episodes out throughout December. So whether that's like us doing it in the middle of the day, in the middle of the week, or something, and not even on Twitch, just so that we can get an episode in, that we'll be doing that.
All possibilities.
Everything is open.
Everything's open. But I think that'll do it for us today. A little long boy today, but
long one.
We had in 2 weeks. Plan on 2 weeks from now. We'll do it again, and then to make sure to focus on. We want to mention YouTube. You can catch these on YouTube. You can catch these on Amazon.
We're on Amazon now. We're on iTunes. We're on Google, Spotify, Podbean. So most of the places that you're going to listen. I know that people. I haven't had anybody ask me it, but I know there's probably people that want it on SoundCloud. I haven't looked into how to get it on SoundCloud yet. I'm sure it's just RSS feed and everything. But I'm trying to get it out there as into many places as we can, and I'm also trying to get more advertising out there.
And if you're listening to this on SoundCloud or Amazon or iTunes or whatever, and you want to join live and you want to ask us some questions live, make sure you can jump on the Twitch. Right now we're using my Twitch. It's twitch.tv/JoshURars. And then you could drop a follow and get notified. We do this every Sunday around this time. So you can even join live and ask us a question if you like too. But all right, guys, that'll do it.
Yeah, next episode will be right at the end of raids. So as soon as raids in,
post raid talks. Yeah, post raid talks. All right, guys, that'll be it for us. Take it easy. Bye, everyone.
Adios.
All right, bye.